Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to TRS Live. This is our live shopping show, and we're going to try to go from the gun counter today with the man over here, Andrew. So Andrew's going to do all the talking. I will be monitoring the comments on Facebook and YouTube, and also Fix TV. So if you have any comments on anything that Andrew's going to be talking about today, fire them in the chat, and I will relay the messages. But basically, I'm here to be Vanna. And Firearms Andrew is going to be doing all the awesome talking.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Let's get her started, my man.
First off, thank you for tuning in. We got some special deals going on, and as well as some new products I'm going to go over, and some interesting products and stuff you may or may not have heard of. So I'm going to treat it as nobody knows anything about any of these products. So bear with me. The first thing we're going to go over is I finally got in an FN 502 Tactical. So these are awesome little 22 tactical pistols. They're very reliable. It's got an easy slide for 22 cycling. They come threaded. So a lot of people like to suppress these. That's why they come with the suppressor ready sights as well as RMR cut. So if you did want to put a red dot on there, it witnesses very, very well. It has an ambidextrous magazine release, which you would think could interfere with accidental mag drops, but honestly, with the way that the finger channeling and grooving in the lower is cut out, it's very comfortable, and I haven't had that issue, as well as a lever slide. So awesome 22. This took quite a bit of time to get. I had 2 on order for quite a bit, and I already sold one of them, so there's one left if anybody's interested. On to another Rimfire notable mention. This Heritage right here. For any of you that like more classic revolvers, cowboy style, I got this guy in. This one is the Billy the Kid Special. They actually put a carving of Billy the Kid on the grips, and I think it's an awesome and unique looking different Heritage 22.
Can you hold
stands
that
out
so
of the crowd.
Scott can zoom in on that?
Yeah.
Oh, are you? Okay, good. I just want to make sure you got a chance to see. That's sweet.
Affordable, fun to shoot, very accurate little guns, but just that little extra bit in the grips really, to me, makes it stand out from every other thing you see on the range. Moving on, we have,
Okay.
we're going to go over a few of the most popular concealed carry guns of 2020 and all the way up. So the first one, which was almost like the staple, was the Sig 365. They come in the standard size like this guy, which comes with a 10-round magazine, but most people just buy the 12-round extension. This is actually what I use as an everyday carry. It is extremely, extremely comfortable to me. They come with or without safety options. And one of my favorite side notes is it actually has fiber optic glow-in-the-dark sights. And I mean, it can be pitch black, and these are going to light up green, so you know, positive target ID and where you're aiming. The triggers on them feel pretty good for a carry gun. All in all, there's a reason I've been carrying this for 2 years and haven't found a replacement EDC yet. But there are some good competitors out there for those of you that might not want the Sig. Want an example? Let me get
This one too?
Yep, the Springfield Hellcat. This was almost an immediate competitor to the 365. Very similar in size. Both have 11 or 12 round capacities with extensions, 10 round, or there's also 15 round extensions if you're playing around at the range. This guy as well is going to have a glow-in-the-dark front sight, but not on the rear sight, but it is RMR cut for a red dot. They also have the Hellcat Pro versions, which are a little more tricked out, you could say. Awesome 9mm, very, very comfortable. Now, a unique subject and new product of 2022 is actually a new firearm with a new caliber. So this is the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, but this comes in 30 super carry. And for those of you that aren't familiar, let me go over this real quick. So right here, get a pan in on this and let me know if you can see it or need me to hold it up better. So this right here is what you would compare your 9mm, your 380, a little less recoil, but a little less penetration as well, to a 30 super carry. That's the new guy. So they slimmed down the diameter of the round a little bit, which decreased recoil of the 9mm by roughly 20%, but you're getting more penetration and kinetic energy out of the 30 super carry than a 380. So for those of you that have been using 380s for a long time, or anybody that has weaker wrist or hand issues, 30 super carry might be the golden child. It hasn't been out long, so there's not a lot of feedback on it, but personally, I think they're very, very comfortable and light recoiling shooting guns. Now with this smaller diameter, you're also getting A very similar size gun, slightly bigger, but that's more of the Shield Plus series, not so much the caliber. But in a smaller gun, you're getting a 16+1 capacity. That's a lot of rounds to have in a small concealed carry. So, and to be doing almost as much ballistically as a 9mm, but also recoiling less, it's very interesting. I would keep your eyes out, maybe do a little bit of research, but I do have them here as well as the ammunition for range and home defense. Moving on to the next subject. Sorry, we gotta shuffle our workspace clear here.
That was this next, right?
Yeah.
Or you wanted this?
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, let's go with this.
So now, Sig actually makes this, and it's something I found very interesting, and I had to get one for myself last year. Sig makes these. This is a BB gun clone with authentic weight and feel, and actually blows back to give you a slight feel of recoil. This is a practice or training pistol. If you were to carry the 365, you can sit there, use CO2 blowback, and get a real feel in practice, but at a really low cost. It is almost identical in build and weight, and how the trigger feels is very similar. Awesome practice gun. There's a lot of people that use them just on their property or even in their basements with a little bullet trap. It uses steel BBs, and I mean for $100, but to be able to practice what feels like your everyday carry constantly, to me is a huge benefit, which is part of the reason I picked one up for myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They make quite a few guns too. There's not many of those that they don't clone.
Do we still have the BB traps yet?
We just sold the last one. We're going to get a couple more in here soon, though.
That's perfect.
Let's move on to the accessories. We're going to go over a few AR accessories, Armalite accessories. So, as anybody knows, the Armalite platforms, the ARs, their triggers are honestly pretty garbage for mil spec. They're 5.5, 6 pound. They're a very long. I mean, it can throw off accuracy a lot. So something like this, there's anything up to the competition level, which can be $200, $270. But for $140, this is a single stage rave trigger, which is going to be closer to that 3.5 pound mark. And it's a noticeable difference, like extremely. As soon as I switch these out, and these are one of my top selling trigger upgrades with ARs, as soon as I switch it out, almost everyone's impressed. They also come with the anti-walk pins, so you don't have to worry about vibration with the contained unit loosening anything up, just a little bit of semi-permanent Loctite and the anti-walks, and I've never had an issue with them.
Do you install this, or can
Yes,
a customer install
I
it?
install these.
They can't do that.
They can. It is a drop-in kit, but I would say if you're unfamiliar with the system, don't attempt anything on a firearm that you're not familiar with.
Yep.
So it is possible. It's not overly complicated, but again, I would always recommend going to a professional when it comes to any firearm work. I mean, it's small explosions going on in front of your face.
How long would it take you to put that in?
That, probably 15 minutes or less.
Oh, so it's not something that they have to leave and come back. If
No,
they want to, they can, but I'll usually...
I can do it right there on the spot pretty quickly.
Very nice. This?
Yep.
Okay, I'll hand you
So
this.
this is a tactical vertical grip built-in flashlight. The battery is actually in the bottom. It holds over pretty well. It's 400 lumens. This, to me, personally, a reason I like this is it has the quick detach mount, as well as the button on the back, which keeps it simple. It's almost like your natural grip on one of these is you can control that flashlight, but it's also aluminum. And I tend to break plastic accessories a lot, even when I'm not trying to, they just break. This being aluminum and aluminum alloy, it feels a lot sturdier to me. It's a lot more comfortable in my opinion, but I also don't have to worry about doing one small bump or mismovement and all of a sudden I broke my accessory. But these are awesome flashlights. Let's go over some optics.
Can you wrap this so it's warm to touch then?
Yes. I mean, you could wrap anything. I mean, any kind of grip tape or anything on it, customize it a little bit.
Nice.
So on to some red dot options. Whether you have Armalite platforms, PC chargers, anything that's more small with a Picatinny rail, I've got a few options. We've got even more than this, but I'm going to show you just a few popular options. So for example, this is the entry level. This is the Crossfire. It's going to be green or red dot. It actually has a night vision mode, strangely enough, which can be useful to some people. This is kind of the most popular. It's about $199. This month of January, though, all Vortex products, I'm doing 10% off through the month of January. So if you need a new optic, in which we have a plethora, come on by, check out what we've got. They're all on discount. Now's the time to get it. This guy right here is another more upgraded, the Spark version of of here. So you right away, you can almost tell the quality of the shell. This has more of an impact absorbent shell around the aluminum, which, to be honest, with Vortex, it's nobody wants to break something and have to deal with waiting on a new one, but any of their products are covered by lifetime warranty, so you never have to buy them again. And if they discontinue a model, they're just going to give you the newer one that came out for free. So they have an awesome customer service team. They're a employee-owned company now, and they're based out of Wisconsin. That's why I tend to prefer them as an optics of choice company. This one, for an example, is their red or green dot as well, but this is the solar. This actually recharges itself in sunlight. So that can be very helpful if you spend long hours at the range or out hunting and maybe hog hunting, coyote hunting with a closer range setup. This is going to keep the battery going so you don't have any issues with that.
Will those work for turkey?
Yes, a lot of people use red dots as well with turkey setups with Picatinny rails, whether they have a saddle mount or a barrel with a built-in Picatinny. Yeah, these work great for them as well.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
How am I doing? Am I handing you stuff?
Yeah.
Nice.
don't break nothing.
I'm not trying to. I'm very
Break it, you buy it.
very delicate. Now we want to go to this.
Yeah. So some of those red dots, you have a great picture quality. Let me get one for an example again, the ones we just used.
Anyone?
Yeah. The only, and this isn't necessarily a downside, but some people look at it that way, is that you're kind of constricting or tunnel visioning yourself because you're looking through a small window at your red dot, and then the outside also takes away some of your sight picture. Now, another option, as well as a high quality one, is the Vortex Razor Red Dot. I mean, if you look through this window, it is a very open window. So you almost can't miss anything going on beyond it. And if you're in thick brush or anything that could be, more difficult to spot out what you're shooting, having an open sight picture like this is phenomenal. I mean, it's a great choice. This also mounts 2 Picatinny rails, or you can take that off and mount it straight to an adapter plate. So it's very versatile as well. It's also got a lower mount to it. So for a turkey gun, like you were saying, this actually might be more comfortable because you're going to be lower on that shotgun versus having to lean up like on a more tactical rifle.
Yep. That's nice. I like both of those.
Again, 10% off any Vortex products throughout the month of January. Let's move on to, we're going to go over a couple handgun accessories now. So the Streamlights, there is many types of Streamlights. The TLR4, to me, in the price range, just gets the job done well. So 170 lumens, which is plenty for indoor use. The thing is this is more geared towards a home defense situation. And if something goes bump in the night, it's usually in the night and you need to be able to see what you're looking at. Having the advantage of knowing your own home versus maybe, bad guy does not. You coming around a corner with a bright light that is capable of strobing is a huge benefit. Now, it is a toggle switch operated, so you can go up or down on either side. If you turn this side up, it's going to lock and actually keep the light on. If you go on your opposite side and just push up, it actually just flashes. So you can use it as a strobe or you can lock it in place. This second switch down here is whether you want laser or laser light combined. So right now on the right, it would be a laser and a light. I know it's not the easiest to see right here, but there's just the laser. And then in the center, you have just the light, and then you have laser and light. Most people will use laser and light, but it's personal preference. Whatever way you feel the most comfortable and the most or the best used with.
Is that what Andy just put on his airsoft?
Yes.
So he's
almost everyone, they're just a great tactical all-around accessory. I mean, being able to, especially think about it this way too, is if you're using, say like a tactical shotgun for home defense or handguns or anything, even at the range, the addition of a laser that a lot of people don't realize it gives you is a different 0 point. So if you're zeroed at 50 yards with your tactical rifle or whatever you're messing around with, but then you come up to a pistol range and you want to shoot close at multiple targets, that 0 could mean a 4 to 6 inch difference in height when you're that close. But if you zero the laser for 15 feet or 10 feet, then you can just switch to that laser and it's dead on. So it's giving you another 0, so you don't have to taking away the guessing factor, basically.
It's really, really lightweight, too.
It is very lightweight, yes. You almost won't feel it as an addition on the handgun, especially after having a loaded mag in.
And Streamlight is a very reputable name.
Yes, they're very, very popular. Very, very well known for making tactical accessories, laser lights.
I like that.
Those fit on all your standard Glocks. They fit on most things with a Picatinny rail, but if you have a very micro handgun, like one of these guys, you might need to get a special laser red dot for that model.
What is the battery life on those, Andrew?
Battery life can vary. It depends on how long you have it on. And I mean, it's hard to give a battery life on anything,
Right.
really. I mean, if you're, even with this guy, like they claim, you know, it'll last 4 hours, but if I'm sitting there and I'm clicking it on and off and on and off, I mean, it just varies. They last a while, though. I can tell you that. These are actually a lot of streamlights you'll actually see law enforcement using as well. So that's kind of a step towards their quality of make and reliability.
So it does say it's got a 15-hour runtime,
Yeah,
but that's
it can vary. You
it's
know,
like when people ask about lighted knocks. Well, it's like they say they're good for like 24 hours, but if you think about how long a lighted knock is actually on,
yeah,
24 hours is a long
it's a long time. Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking too, if you're lost in the woods, that strobe or that light would be very beneficial, and it'd be nice to know how long that battery lasts, just how long you have before that light's out, and then you're
Right.
Yeah, applications are almost limitless. Just having a laser and flashlight added, you know.
Well, this would be ideal for raccoon hunting, I think, if you are using like a handgun,
Yeah,
something like that, because you don't have to carry a big spotlight around with you. I mean, obviously you're going to want to at
yeah.
some point.
And again, they have a wide selection of the lumens available, and whether it's red or green lights and so on and so forth. This one that we carry the most of, though, the TRL-4s make the most sense for home defense / you know, more applicable uses. But
Yeah.
but they do offer larger 500 or 1,000 lumen lights. It's just that's where you're seeing the price raise.
Correct. And that's a pretty good price right there.
Yeah.
So that's your next one?
Yep. Let me get both of them. There should be 2 of them over there, or maybe just this guy.
It
Yeah,
was just this
guy.
one is what you had.
So the Vortex Venom, I have these in a 6 or a 3 MOA. And now the MOA, or the minute of angle, is the size of the dot you're going to see at distance. So if you like a smaller dot, or if your eyes may not pick up the smaller dot as well, switch to the 6 and you're going to get a twice the size dot or picture. We got a phone call coming in.
They got it.
All right. Let's get on to
Live TV, you gotta love it.
these guys.
These right here?
Yes. So for co-witnessing, I've messed around with a lot of 45 Canon sights. 45s honestly are my favorite, because if you're trying to co-witness on a tactical rifle, or almost any rifle, as long as it has a Picatinny rail, if you don't want to just be using your scope or your red dot and you need to co-witness, the 45s are the best in my opinion. You don't have to worry about the height and whether or not they're flip up, flip down, and they're in the way of your primary optic. So they're out of the way. You can flip them up or down with a push of a button. You can actually zero this one in by adjusting your rear aperture. But these are aluminum. And again, I find it overly easy to break plastic accessories, especially flip-up sights. You always see the Magpul flip-up sights and stuff like that. I've actually blown those apart just from gases coming out of my rifle before. So I almost always try to stick with aluminum quality products. And I love these. For the price, they're great backup sights. I have them on a couple of my rifles.
And we're going to the ammo next?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the ammunition. So for anybody wondering on handgun ammo, we carry quite a few different brands. I'm going to pick 2 in particular that are some of my favorite choices. You have Hornady's Critical Defense and you have Hornady's American Gunner. The Critical Defense, just to give you a show of how reliable and well expanding as a hollow point this round is, my uncle actually carries Critical Defense in his 9mm, and he is a director in the FBI. So if he has to trust his firearm for something and he carries Hornady, that goes to show you. I've carried Hornady for many years in different calibers. It is just an all-around, well-expanding yet well-retaining with a good velocity to it. But yeah, it's a happy middle child of everything good you can think of. You don't want to get too stuck on whether I should go with 124 grain, 115, this and that. But look for more of the performance and reliability on the expansion itself. And again, another version or type of round that they come out with is a little bit heavier, is the American Gunner. Very comparable, just slightly different hollow point designs and a little bit grain weight difference. But we have, I have a whole shelf over there dedicated to different types of 9mm home defense ammo or just everyday carry defense ammo. So you got a little bit to choose from on anybody's personal preferences. And that's where I'm going to bring up a couple more interesting topics. If you haven't heard about these, I'm going to go over these real quick. So first we have the Streak ammunition by Ammo Inc. This is awesome to me because enables you to see what kind of mistakes you're making on the range, even in daylight. This is acting as if it's a tracer round. You can see a bright light. They basically painted this compound onto the rear of your bullet itself, and you can see that glowing as a streak flying through the air even in daylight or at the range. But it is legal because tracer rounds, being a fire hazard, are not legal most places for civilians to get their hands on. So this is an alternative that works very well, and it enables you to see what you're doing wrong on the range. Or it's honestly just a good time when you're seeing these lights fly when you're shooting, especially if you have a couple people, buddies at the range doing it. It's just a great time, and it's reasonably priced too. On the Novex, so Novex is actually what I'm carrying in my Sig 365. So when this ammunition came out, a couple companies came out with it. Novex, in my opinion, kind of perfected it. Now what this is it's a copper polymer matrix blended bullet. It is a lot lighter weight. Specifically, this one's at 65 grains, and that may make some people think, well, that's a little light for me. But again, this isn't hunting, this is defense. They actually designed these flutes. I don't know if you can get a good picture on this.
Still. Nice. Hold it a little bit sideways towards me.
This way?
Other way. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. So these flutes that they designed into this round itself, what this does is when this hits soft tissue or anything water-based target, what people a lot smarter than me realized is that this actually passes through water at a supersonic level. So you have your air level of sonic booms, or then you have a water level they figured out of speed. So it creates a concussive sonic boom through soft-based targets. So even if you don't hit exactly where you need to, the amount of force and energy coming out of that is rattling, it's shocking. And there's plenty of videos of this company showing that on YouTube you can look up. We might be able to share something and post something on it as well. But very interesting. So even though it's 65 grains, it is hitting with the foot-pounds of a 40 Smith & Wesson. But with the weight too, when you have 12, 13 rounds in a small carry gun, it's a lot more comfortable to have less weight.
Right.
And I highly doubt that anybody on the receiving end, Mr. Bad Guy, is going to be able to tell you the difference if they got hit with that or that. Well, maybe this actually, because that concussive blast. It's amazing what this technology does. I highly advise anyone that's interested to look into it a little bit. It's awesome ammunition, and because it's a plus P and it's moving extremely fast, I mean, this thing's moving like 1,700 feet per second. I mean, it's almost a rifle round at that point.
Yeah.
But because of that, it needs this harder casing. It's not just a standard reloadable casing. How much you're going to actually use this, though, I would hope never, but when you need it, it does a pretty good job.
Do the ammos that you showed, are there any of them available in that new gun you were talking, that 30 or whatever it was?
30 Super Carry, not for these yet, not the Streaks and this guy.
Okay.
Just because this is such a new caliber in that 30 Super Carry, that there's still a limited selection, but it's like all your major brands like Hornady and some other people will make it, but not Novex and Streak and stuff like that from Ammo Inc.
Nice. And we all know that if it is available, you'll get your hands on it.
I'll get my hands on it, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put these back.
I will definitely get my hands on it.
You want to go thermal?
Yeah, let's go over the thermal real quick. So we've done a few segments over this. We've sold quite a few of these. For anybody that has not seen one, this is the OTS XLT, they call it, by ATN. ATN is a leading manufacturer in thermal and night vision optics, as well as viewfinders like this guy. So this is a digital display which has your power button. It can take pictures, it can take video as well, and that all, it comes with a tripod stand, and then you would USB-C connect this to your computer and you can stream some of your footage if you're out scouting, if you're hunting, etc. It's just an awesome little tool to have, and usually when you get into thermal and night vision optics and viewfinders and stuff like that, they get really quickly up into the thousands of dollars. But for this one being, I think the MSRP is right around $599, but I'm selling it for $550. I've got it on discount right now. This just works really well. So it's got a 2-power, then a 4-power, then an 8-power digital zoom, which, you know, in any reasonable distance, if you're out just scouting or if you're up in the tree stand, is pretty good. Now, the best part that people don't think about with this is that it's great for tracking, especially in colder weather hunting. If you get a fresh blood trail and, you know, when you get down from the tree, nothing looks the same, you don't know which direction you were going. If you take this out and start looking around, you'll actually see a white lit up blood trail or even the smallest spots. I mean, it was down to my body temperature being on a paper clip, this picked it up. So yeah, an awesome little thing to consider. And again, it's on discount. So if you were considering getting it, now's a better time.
You said it shows up white. What would it look
It's
like on
white or red. So if
so
I
on
was to
snow?
look,
It would be red.
snow would just look gray because it's cold. So everything would kind of standard to gray. Then the whiter the object gets until red is the hotter and hotter. So if I looked at you, all of your clothes would be white because they got your body warmth.
Yep.
But your face and your hands and stuff, especially your face, would light up red because it's so warm.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, can
Are
be
you
a
gonna-
very useful tool.
Are you going to get the ATN scope back in?
Yes, I will be carrying more ATN products as well, like the day and night scopes and possibly some of their night vision and thermal optics. I already special order. If anybody knows a specific product that they want, I can get it for you as long as it's available. I do a lot of special orders on ATN products. I've been using ATN products for years. They're some of my favorite for night vision thermal.
Especially for like coyote hunting right now.
Yeah, everybody loves thermal and night vision for
Yep.
coyotes. So this is something a little different I'm going to talk about. This is the Rapid Safe. It's a shotgun wall lock. And anybody that has kids can appreciate this, or, maybe people with kids come over, but you want your firearm accessible for home defense without it being accessible to people who aren't supposed to have it. So this is a very sturdy, tough alloy gun safe. And what it does is it flips open, and there's a little holder for the receiver and then for the barrel that you slot in. And you can actually get it in and out a lot faster than you'd think. Don't let that feel like it's overcomplicated. It's just setting it into a slot. Now, this works off of a wristband that they give you, a key fob. They give you decals that actually have the RFID if you wanted to put it on your phone or something that's always with you, as well as a keypad that you can use. And now if your battery dies, of course, it's got a key entry too. But all you would do is you'd wave by it with one of these ways you access it. It pops open and boom, you've got your shotgun. This is a great tool. You don't have to, something went bump in the night, go to a closet, grab this, grab that. No, it's just wave over and bloop, there she goes.
Dude, that's pretty sweet.
As long as you bolt this to the wall properly, obviously you need a good support. You're not just going to put it into drywall.
Right.
But it's an awesome little safe for a shotgun for home defense. Now these guys, something interesting I ran into doing some peeking around online, and this is actually, I got this in here for me to use on customers' firearms, depending on how much I like it. But so far, everything I've read about it, I'm going to test it on one of my firearms later today. It's very interesting, and it seems like a quality product. This is the Level Right Pro. I can order as well as customers want their own. I can special order you one of these. I will be carrying these soon, but again, I want to try it before I carry it. The Level Right Pro, what this does is your turrets, when you're leveling your scope, the issue that I always run into, and anybody who does this quite frequently, is that the turrets almost never perfectly align up to what the reticles are level. And even when they do, you put the level on it, and maybe one part of the turret, the aluminum isn't the exact same. So it's like you can't get a perfect level, which can throw your shots off, especially if you're shooting farther distance. And I feel like most of us as hunters want to have that precise, clean shot. So, you don't want to miss and all of a sudden an animal's suffering, you can't get the kill. Right. And then the coyotes are having a blast,
Yeah. Yep.
So what this is it's a couple part system. So what you would do, let me see if there's a better picture. Yeah, right here. Can you get in on this?
Yeah.
Right here at the bottom. So there is this back, basically a level built in with a grid, and that you put on a tripod. And the way that you'd set that up, I'm going to turn this for you, is you actually set that up independently behind the firearm, you level it, and then with your firearm in some kind of vise or bench or anything, then you would actually, and this works for Picatinny rails or most standard barrels, you would actually take this forward part of the system that has a built-in level and mount that onto the barrel itself. You match those, the rear grid and the forward barrel in level plane, and then there's actually a projector light that shoots a light through the front of your optic to the rear and actually shows you on the grid the reticle of your optic. So then you just match it up to the grids when they're both level, tighten everything down, and you can actually, and here's the best part, is as you're tightening that down and torquing, from one side to the other of your mounts, it stays level. You can watch it. So if it wants to turn or jump in some way, then you don't have to sit there and keep doing the whole process, which it can happen with some mounts. So this is honestly a very interesting system to me. I'm going to be testing it out today on one of my firearms. If it is as good as people are saying it is and easy for people to use, I'm going to start stocking these soon.
We should do a video on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent video.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm going to set it up on one of mine here soon, later on today. And then once I get familiar with the system and kind of learn the tricks of it, we can do a video on it.
But not a bore sighter? Or
I have a laser universal bore sighter from Avid on the way. It's just taking longer. I wanted to do a video on both, but just to give everybody a heads up on this, it's a rechargeable battery laser bore sighter that I will be stocking. They're a little bit pricier, but again, it's because you're not replacing expensive little batteries constantly.
Right.
And it's universal, so for your shotguns, rifles, anything, it magnets to the end of it and has a very powerful laser out to like 50 yards. So immediately you can almost get dead on and not have to worry about going 4 feet this way, 1 foot that way.
So these two in conjunction.
In conjunction is what I'm going to start using here to give people almost the best setup right off the bat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, save people money on ammo as well as give them the best quality we can.
But you still have to go shoot your rifle or your gun. Don't say you're bore sighted, so I'm good to go.
Don't completely rely on that.
Yeah.
But it's going to get you a lot closer than standard specialized tools would.
That's awesome. Did you want to go rifle now, or you want to go into handguns?
We'll go over some of these rifles. So,
Okay.
so on some of the stuff, if you haven't been in here in a while, or you maybe have never been in here and see this video by chance, we carry a variety of rifles, shotguns, handguns, and I try to stay in everyone's price range. So anything from your $300-400 entry rifle range to Weatherby's at $500-600 to Tikkas and Bergaras. And in specific, Tikkas and Bergaras are two types of rifles I have been using personally for a long time. This is a very, very popular rifle. This Tikka is known for, one thing Tikka is honestly the most known for is how smooth their bolts are. They just have almost like butter bolts. No matter what angle you push and pull this on, you almost can't lock it up. So during quick successive shots, it's just perfect. It's a very lightweight, as the name suggests, rifle. They come in a wide variety of calibers. I carry most of them. It's a very accurate rifle too. So this is guaranteed sub MOA 1 inch at 100 yards. There's plenty of guys that go out just with these standard T3 lights and shoot 400 or 500 yards. I mean, they're just awesome rifles. And for being at that $700 range, it's just a great choice. Now, in my personal opinion, I used to use a lot of Tikkas, and then I ran into Bergaras. Bergaras, for the longest time, they're a Spanish, now Tikka was a Finnish company. Bergaras is a Spanish company. They, for the longest time, were known for quality barrels. They made very accurate barrels, and eventually they moved on to making the entire rifle. So they based the Remington 700 tried and true action and setup, and that's why their triggers are actually interchangeable. If you wanted to go to a nicer Remington 700 competition trigger, like a Timney or something, you can actually put them in these Bergaras. But their barrels are just phenomenal. Some of these hand loads I've been doing, and this is actually one of these 308s is what I use a lot on the range out to 600 yards. They're sub MOA guaranteed, but you find that load it likes, that ammunition it likes, or if you hand load, and then you're really going to see the performance. I mean, I'm getting down to less than 3/4 of an inch groups at 100. Time?
You're doing a great job, but yeah, I mean, it's almost been an hour. So,
okay, let's go over just a couple more things.
Oh, yeah.
And
What do you need first?
We'll call it right there.
Yeah.
So right there, those of you that know the Armalite platform, you know it, but I'm going to go over one in specific, this caliber. There should be 3 rounds right there.
Oh, yep.
This is a 300 blackout. So these right here, if you don't know and you need a visual, I'm a visual person. So this is your standard 5.56 223. This is your 7.62 by 39 right here. So what they did is they made a middle child. They took a 5.56 parent case in the center here, and they put a 7.62 or 308 projectile into it, just a little shorter. This is your anything out to 150 yards. You got more stopping power than a 5.56. But it's keeping that extremely low recoil. So if you don't know much about the 300s, they're becoming very, very popular for close range, hard hitting yet very low recoiling. I mean, there's people out there that are teaching their kids on the 300 blackout. I mean, it's less than a 243 in recoil. So that's an honorable mention.
Is that deer and everything?
Yes, you can use it's a 308 caliber size bullet. But because of the design of the 5.56 case, you just think of it like a 30-30 or something. You're dropping off very quickly.
After
100 yards. So I'd say 150 is a good effective range on hunting, but most people around here, I mean, the average shot's like 70 yards.
Right.
So the Rossi stainless steel with the Picatinny rail and peep sight, lever action in 357. If you have not used many lever actions, especially 357s, they're just so fun. I mean, you can shoot 357, 38 special to keep it cheap, but they're super low recoiling. They're hard enough hitting that you could hunt with it or just mess around at the range. And if you end up suppressing one of these, it is they're actually quieter than a pellet gun.
Really?
If you suppress one of these, they're quieter than a pellet gun with subsonic.
That's sweet.
Yep. So I have one of these guys in. It's not they're at an affordable price, but it's a quality product. I mean, you got laminate and you got stainless steel with the works, the Picatinny rail. Now let's go over the last thing I have for you guys out here today.
Okay.
Just a quick update. We have Dan Wesson's out the wazoo right now. I'm getting more and more, but it's just a product that's hard to keep in. We are the only dealer in Wisconsin as one of the biggest for selection in anywhere around here in the United States. I get people calling me from all over the United States to buy these. They're all listed on our website. If it's not listed on our website, I'll double check and get anything on there, but they should all be. So for example, one of the most popular models, the Kodiak, these are all USA made match grade 1911s. There is a huge variety of them. This isn't even close to what I have, but you've got some with V-bob cuts, some with the small frame yet a larger, multiple different sights, adjustable sights, non-adjustable bead sights. I mean, but the fit and the fitment and the finish is just insane. When they say these are match grade quality, they are match grade quality. I have a lot of people who collect a lot of higher end handguns, especially for competition use or just plinking around. And these are out shooting $2,000-$3,000 staccatos even at the $1,500, $1,600 mark, especially these nicer ones like these. They've got aluminum alloy and then steel uppers. They've got all steel on steel, multiple finishes. I mean, they're just, to be honest, they're one of the best handgun manufacturers in the 1911 category on the planet, in my opinion, right now. These are what Kimber used to be, basically, until their quality started dropping. But yeah, we have plenty of these. They're all listed on therealshot.com. If you have any interest or you know anybody that's been trying to find Dan Wesson's, we are the dealer to talk to.
I know we got to go, but why does this move?
That's a grip safety. So 1911s come standard with and because most of the time people will carry them in single action ready to go, there is a lever safety to keep everything safe, as well as a grip safety. So even if something was to bump or snag your safety, unless you have that fully depressed in the rear, it's a second form of safety.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
The triggers on them, I won't even get started. I'd just say if you live around here, come in and feel one. The triggers are phenomenal. I mean, it's so light yet so crisp, and the reset's fast. Just awesome guns and all.
And those are all Dan Wesson?
Yeah, I have a whole case of Dan Wesson over there. I can't. Obviously, with time, we can't set out everything.
Right.
But
No,
otherwise, we'll do some segments in the future, kind of going over each model or picking out a model here and there.
I like that.
And going in more in depth on them. But yeah.
Well, I think Andrew did a phenomenal job. If you're watching this and you do have any questions, the website, therealshot.com, or call the store.
Yep.
920-750-6140. That's going to probably be, for a lot of these more firearm stuff, I would recommend giving you a call personally.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Andy, if you heard him, he's a wealth of knowledge. He could talk for hours and hours on this stuff, but get him on the phone, chat about what we have, what options you have. If there's something you see here, like we just covered a little bit in the time we had. And
plenty more.
Plenty more. So call, or like you said, for some of this stuff, it's available on therealshot.com. And if it's not there, we can work our tails off to get it, most stuff on the website for purchase, right?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're adding more every day. We're still adding, yeah. We're just building it because it was introduced to the website after the fishing side was put on. So.
Yep.
Again, Vortex, if you need Vortex products, binoculars, scopes, red dots, anything Vortex, 10% off through the month of January. So
perfect. So this is something that we're going to try to do here from the store. I think at least 3 times a week, we're going to try to hit up the different departments. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I think, are the designated days around the noon time. So if you are on lunch break, right now, set your calendar, and Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we're going to be going live from the store from updates from the knowledgeable staff that the Real Shot has. So
I tell you what, just to get everybody interested and to see who actually, watches our streams and is interested, if you come in here and you want to buy any firearm and you tell me the code word big guns, I'll give you 10% off any gun.
What?
It tells me you're watching and that it's part of the community of the Real Shot here. So If you watch this video, big guns is the code word. I'll give you 10% off of any firearm.
Well, there you go. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching, Andrew. Great job, buddy. And I think Friday around noon is the next time we're going to go live here from the store from maybe fishing or hunting department. So any final words?
We pretty much went over everything.
All right. We'll see everybody on Friday.